Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. I love days like this. It's a very special day as well. We have got the very last pack 12 of the Agora models build the Shelby Cobra. That's right, this is the finished one right here. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at the clock now. I spent from 7:30 this morning until 5:30 in the evening making this. And to be honest with you, it's not hard. It's just there's so many fiddly bits that you really do need to take your time over it, especially from stages 97 to 100. You'll whiz through it until you get to those stages and then really take it slow. But look at it, I've got a smile on my face because I want you to watch this whole video and see where I'm coming to. But I must tell you that we don't test it in this video. And the reason for that is because I'm going to do a separate reveal video showing you all the beauty photos, plus it gives me a chance to get some batteries. I've also got, hopefully, I think we've got a stand on the way, and I think we've got some special number plates. If you ordered the premium editions, I think you get personalized number plates with it as well, but I really enjoyed doing this. So look, if you want to get this for yourself, I'll put the link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. I believe you can now get this as a full kit as well. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so in stage 91 we're going to start putting the other jacking points on, and we've got another grille to put on the main vehicle here. Now, I've already put my Partworks upgrade mat down because we're going to be doing a lot with the bodywork in this pack. So I want to get this all ready. And as you can see in stage 91, we've got some more jacking points here, and we've got another grille to put in the main bodywork. So I'll put this to one side and I'm going to bring over the bodywork. Now, in a similar fashion to where we put the jacking points on the front there, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the back. So I'm just going to turn this over. So this is what the jacking point looks like. We want the shorter side to be on the top of the vehicle. So as it's upside down, it's going to be on the bottom here when I line this up. Just like that. And that's going to be held in with one OP02 screw. So that's the first one in. And in a similar way, we put the second one in here and drive that through like this. All we have left to do then is, as you can see, on this side here we had a grille. As you can see, we've got the vacant space down the bottom here. This is just going to go over the lugs on this side. If I have it this way round, you'll be able to see that. This way round, over like that. And this is going to be held in with silver OD03 screws. So I've got that here. Just ensure that's in all the way. It's going into metal. I have put that in some oil and get that as tight as you can get it. Now we're going to turn the vehicle over because we're going to be putting in the hood. So this is what the hood's looking like, and if you remember on a previous stage we put these hinges in. I'm going to be offering this to the vehicle underneath here and just making sure that these are balanced on this side. So that's fitting in perfectly like that. Now because we're going to keep turning this over and it's going to be going all over the place, I want to secure this in place just with a little bit of masking tape just to protect that here. This is a low tack masking tape, so I don't have to worry about it marking the paintwork here. So there we go. That's going to stop that moving around. We then need the radiator section that we worked on pretty much wholly in the last pack, looking like this. Now if you have a look on this, we've got two holes here, one here, one here. They're going to be affixed, if I just pick this engine up a little bit, into the lugs that we've got here and the other side over here on the front of the engine. So if I put this into position, it's going to go in just like that. It should fit quite snugly in there. Now it's going to be held in with two OD03 screws. So I've got one this side. I'm actually putting it in while it's still upside down rather than turn it over. It's just the easiest way to get to it. And the second one just in this side here. And that whole radiator section then is now securely in the vehicle. I'll just tip this up so you can see how that looks. There's the two screw holes down the front. And that, with the radiator in there, is all there is to do in that stage. Now you just know we're going to get lots of electrics, and in stage 92 we're going to be starting to do the front left indicator. So the first thing we need are the two parts of the indicator. We've got the reflector part and we've got the lens. Now there is a little bezel, hard to show you on camera, just on the edge there. We want to line that up with the indent that we've got on the lens. So I've got that here. I'm going to push that in, and you know you've got it right because it should fit all the way in there like that. And this is going to be going into the hole on the left side of the car. So I'll show you on the close-up camera. When it's in, it should look like that. We can put the car to one side now, and we're going to be making a reflector here. So I'm just getting all the parts off this sticky pad for that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be pushing the reflector part into the mount here. It can only go in one way. Push it all the way in so it fits perfectly flush in there like that. We've then got this lovely red lens just to go over the top of that and clip that in. It will only go in one way, so if it doesn't go one way, change it, and that's going to hold all of those pieces together there. Now if I turn the vehicle over here, matter of fact, I think I'm going to put some, I'm just going to put some masking tape on the doors as well for now, because we are doing a lot of turning over. But we're going to be putting this reflector into the rear of the vehicle. Now make sure when you put this reflector into the back that this slug here goes through the second hole down on the back. So that's how you know you've aligned it properly. And we're just going to screw that in with OP 16 screws all the way. So when that reflector's in, I know it's upside down at the moment, but that should look like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 93 is a complete mirror to what we've just done. Once again, we have got two of the LEDs which we haven't had to attach yet, keeping them to one side. They're just labelled 9 and 10. And in exactly the same way as we did in the last stage, we're going to make the indicator again by looking for the little notch just on the lens here. Put that into the reflector. Again, I'm looking for that same notch, which is on this side here. Making sure they're perfectly aligned. You know they are, because the lens should keep itself in, no problems at all. Push this into the other side of the car. So it's going to be going into this one here. And that's what that looks like with both the indicators in. Put that to one side again. And once again, we're just going to assemble the reflector for the back. So we've got the reflector going into the mount, and hold all of that together with the lens. Push that in, and it will hold that whole unit together. And then once again, bring over the vehicle. And this time, this one's going to be going in this side here. And that's held in once again with one of the tiny OP16 screws. When that's all the way in, excellent. I'll show you what the reflectors look like. There we go, and they're in. Now I didn't do this at the end of stage 93, but I'm doing it now. But we're going to be putting the LEDs 9 and 10 just into those reflectors now. So push them in. They should keep themselves in. If they don't, then just put a little bit of super glue down here. But one this side, and then one this side over here. They're in. Perfect. So in stage 94, we're going to be working on the anti-roll bar here, or the sway bar, as it's sometimes called as well, and the hood support, which does mean I've got to bring over the other part of the car. You haven't seen this for a while, have you? Right, so I'm going to turn this upside down, so it looks like that, and we're going to be attaching this sway bar onto the two mount points we've got underneath the vehicle here. Now you want to make sure it's the right way round. So it should be, while it's upside down, tilting slightly upright there. So I'm putting this in a little bit of oil, because we're going to be screwing it with OD07 screws. These are flanged screws here. And I'll just put them in now. So one this side, and just this one on the other side here. We're going to turn the chassis the right way round now. So now that looks like this. And we've got a little hood support, which looks like that, which is going to go into the notch on the inside engine wall, just like this here. I'm going to get that in. There we go, and that's secured into place. Again, we can put this to one side, bring over the main body of the Cobra again, and then if I can just open the bonnet here, I'm just going to take my masking tape off for a second. You see what I mean, how it's low tack? Open this up. I've just moved the camera. We have got a hole just here for this to go in, so I'm going to put that in the hole like that. You want to put it in such a way that that's going to hold itself like that, so it's got this swing on it here. And then what that means is when we lift the hood up now, we've got a way to actually keep it up by using the hood support. But that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 95, we've got some more LEDs, which again I'm going to keep to one side for the moment because we're going to be working on the headlights. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a reflector and a lens, and if you can see in the reflector there, just about, there is a notch in there, and there's also a notch just on the headlight. That's going to help you align that. So when we've lined them both up, push them together, and that should stay in by itself, as you can see there. We're going to do exactly the same thing to the other lens here. Again, line up with the notch, push that in, you heard a click there, and that's in as well. We've become a dab hand at this now, but we're going to take the vehicle, turn it upside down, and we're going to be putting the headlights in. Now, as you can see, you've got a large lug and a small locating hole here. They're just going to line up with the holes that we've got in the vehicle, and that's held with an OP08 screw. So I've got one of them here, and that's one side in, and we're just going to repeat that on the other side here. So I know you can't wait to see what this looks like, but let me show you again on the top camera. That is now the front of the vehicle. Looking pretty impressive, isn't it? I love it. But that is all there is to do in that stage. Now bear in mind, we are saving up all these LEDs for later on. So in stage 96, we're going to be doing the rear view mirror, windshield wipers and roll bar back tube. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the sticky here just from the mirror. It has got a protective front side as well, so it's going to help us to align this onto the mount here, just like that. And it saves us getting this marked, because when I'm ready I can peel the top plastic off, so we've got a lovely shiny, God, that just blinded me then, mirror effect. So all we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting this into the hole here. Now you'll be asking, why are we doing this now? Because we are going to still turn the vehicle over. But the thing is, we're about to put the windshield on now as well. So I'm just going to move my masking tape here just to either side of this, because I need these holes clear to put the windshield in. So this is what that looks like, and it's just going to drop. As you can see, we've got 3 lugs at the bottom into these holes here, like that. And it's going to be held in place with 3 OD05 screws. Now, that's why I've got it on a real soft surface, and I'm actually supporting the weight of the vehicle with my hand, because I don't want to crush that. So I'll put the first screw in, and that'll hold the centre of this windshield in place. This is where you really are going to need a good soft surface to put this on. Here's the second side, and then finally the third side over here. So I'll turn this back over. As you can see, we've now, it's coming together in it just by that. It's in securely, looking just like that. I'm really happy with how that's looking. Now we've got some windscreen wipers to put in like that. Now they are labelled, very tiny labels just on the inside stalk here. This is the right one, so this is going to be going on the right side. And there is sort of like a keyhole pattern for this, so it can only go in one way. And it's going to be held in from the other side with an OP16 screw. Now I'd like to tell you that was easy, but that was far from easy. That was quite difficult actually. But we're going to do the same on the driver's side now. Now I'd like to tell you how easy that was, but that wasn't easy. That's probably the most fiddliest thing we've had to do so far at this stage. So if you are struggling, take your time on that, but they will go in, as you can see there. But once you've done that, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 97, we're going to be working on the fuel cap, air filter, and installing the trunk, fuel tank, front floor and roll bar. The next 4 stages are going to have loads to do, and it's the last 4 stages of this whole build. So it's going to be a lot to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this metal grill here, and using my duckbill pliers that I got here, I'm just going to bend these tabs at 90 degrees down. So 1, see, perfect bend in there now. Do the same on the other side. 2. So now what we're going to do is put these tabs just inside these 2 sections here. Push it down, and there we go. That grill is now in place for the air filter. Now we bring over the vehicle looking like this, turn it upside down. So when we push this in, it is just a push in. There's quite a lot of friction in there, so it's not going to fall out, but there you go, that goes in like that. We can keep this to one side because we're now going to be assembling the fuel cap. And to do that, we're going to need this base section looking like this with the notches or the nut marks here facing upwards. Then we're going to be taking the middle section of the fuel base here. That's going to go on top, and that will link both of those parts together like that. And then we've got the cap to put on, and the little lugs either side of that are just going to fit into these sections here. Now if you twist it and then push it in, it should go in perfectly, just like that. So now we have got a working cap on there. Excellent. The only thing we need to do now is on the front, we've got the other same sort of design. We just need to clip this, so we've got a clip that goes over the front. So in a similar fashion, I'll get this one in, and that is in absolutely perfect. So we can open the fuel cap, but I'm going to keep it closed just while we install this onto the vehicle. So I'll bring over the bodywork of the vehicle here. The fuel cap's just going to go into the back here, and we have got similar lugs to what you can see there. Line this up and put that in, and then it's going to be held in from the other side with OP02 screws. I keep saying screws, but I mean screw. Turn it upside down, and this is just going into the screw hole here. And there we go, there's the fuel filler cap in place. I'll just demonstrate that for you. You can take the catch off, lift the fuel cap up, put it down, put the catch back on like that. Now keeping this way round, we've got the awesome trunk here with the Cobra registration. We are going to change this to a personalized one soon, but this just goes underneath here, so we can fit this onto the vehicle like that. Turn it upside down. So now you need the brace that you had from stage 70, and I'm just finishing the last screw here. We're going to screw that in with OD05 screws, and when that's in, just like that, it means that the boot or the trunk lid is now fully attached to the vehicle. Now we need to take the fuel tank. Again, probably best on these side cameras for this. Let me just move this around because it is quite a lot to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to be holding it upside down. So obviously this section here is going to be in the boot. And we want to take the left and the right reflector cables and feed them through so that they come out the other side of this. We want to make sure there's no slack on those, so they're pushed quite tight, and then this will be free to sit in there just like this. Now you want to line it up with the lugs in the base there. That's perfect. Now this is going to be held in with 2 OD05 screws again. Once again, I'm just going to dip this in oil because it is going into metal, and I'll line this up. We get this side in first. And now comes the fun, which I'm being honest with you, I'm really nervous about. We're going to be offering the actual main section of the vehicle together. So we're going to put this upside down, and all the wires we've got here, we want over the top of this section. putting that in and feeding that down the centre there. And I'm being very gentle here about how I'm putting this in. Also, all the wires from the dashboard I want to make sure are out as well, so there's no wires hidden in there. That looks good. I've got that in, all the wires are out, there's no wires pinched. I think we're good. So we're going to be first putting some OD05 screws just into the back section here, and I've got one in the other side here as well, and there we go, that's those two in. Now I should be able to turn this over. Excellent, look how that looks in there, that is brilliant. I'm loving that. I'm loving how that looks. Okay, so we're going to lift the trunk up, and in the trunk we're going to be putting in this section here which we got in stage 96. Now there is a kind of recess in there, it's hard to describe it, to be honest with you, but it will fit perfectly in that recess there. And then we want to take the roll bar back tube, which looks like this, feed that through this side here, and then that should plug in to the mount we've just put in there. So that attaches in there just like that. It should clip in and it's going to hold itself quite secure there. Then we're going to be dropping in this side of the roll cage. That's just going to go all the way down here, all the way through, just locking that into where it goes, just like that. And then we just want to put this top section into the hole here, like that. Now this is going to be held in from the underside with OD010 screws. So once again I'm going to turn that upside down, and we've got the two screw holes for that. That's excellent. Seatbelts are all over the place at the moment, but I will tidy that up afterwards. But that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 98 we're going to be doing some engine components. As you can see, we've got all of these here with some pipes. The first thing we want to do is we want to cut these little things off with a sprue cutter. And once we've done that, we need to insert the smaller end into each one of these three pipes. So one here, one on this one, and then finally one here. Now the other end of these pipes are going to be going onto the nipples that we can see just on these sections here, which are the canister set. So I'll put them on here now. 1, 2, and finally number 3, looking like that. We don't need this at the moment now, so we can put that to one side. So we want to bring the main body of the vehicle over again. But first thing we want to do with these cables, identify cables 3, 5 and number 6, which I believe is this one here. And we're going to feed through the like numbers that come from this side. So we've got number 3, feed it through this clip here, and then plug that into number 3. Simples. Then we got number 6, get number 6, feed that through the clip, and connect that up here as well. And then we've got number 5, feed that through, and that one's going to connect to number 5 here as well. So we've got a plug for cable 4 here. I'm going to plug that in to cable 4 at this end. And that's that one done. I've got a plug for cable 2, which is going to match to cable 2 on this side. Get those in. Wrong way around. There we go. That's cable 2 connected. We've done 9 and 10. We've done 6. We've done 5. We've done 3. We've done 2. And we've done 4. So the other ones that should have left now won't have a connector at the moment to plug those in. But we're going to be tucking all of these into the trough here. I'm just going to sort out the ones that don't have a plug at this moment so I can easily find them again afterwards. Pushing all of these into the trough here, putting the other ones over the top. And basically that means that we've got cables 1, 7 and 8, which at the moment don't have a plug to go into. Now, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference because you're not going to see this side. But I am going to put some masking tape just in there to stop those cables coming out when I actually sandwich some more parts together. But that is all there is to do in stage 98. Now in stage 99, as you can see, we have got tons of engine components to put in. So let's take this slowly. The first thing it wants us to do is take off all the tyres on the vehicle. Now they are different sizes. You've got smaller ones at the front, bigger ones at the back, so keep them separate when you take them off. The reason we're doing this is because it's going to make it easier in the long run to put the wires in to the headlights and stuff when we actually put these together. So I will keep these in one place. Now once we've got that, then the first thing we're going to need is the fuel line, which looks like this. That's just going to go, as you can see in the pictures here, but probably best on top, just into the filter and then the other side into the pump. Make sure that's pushed all the way in so it's not going anywhere. And there we go, that's the fuel line in. Then you want pipe 99C, which is the smallest pipe that you would have had in this collection. You've got 3 pipes in this stage. One side is just going to go in here, pushing that in. The top end of this pipe is left unconnected for now. Just make sure that that's in far enough so it's not going to fall out. Now we've still got the headlights, which are cables number 7 and 8. And what we want to do with these is get cable, what cable have I got here first? Cable 7. Make sure the LED is at this end of the vehicle. We're going to be passing that through the vehicle and it's going to go through the engine bay and it's going to come up out the top like this. There you go. Now I've got it on top of the sway bar there, just so you know. We're going to do exactly the same with cable 8. Just untangle that. Once again, just going to go through the engine. Now this is going to get a little bit tricky. I want to put this on its side, probably best on the side camera at the moment. It's probably going to want to fall, but there we go. We've got that there. Then we want to take the main body of the vehicle, turn it upside down and lay that next to it. And now we want to connect cables 1, 7 and 8. So I've got 8 here. I've plugged that into 8, making sure that's all the way in. Then cable 7, I can pull these through again afterwards. And then finally, we've just got cable 1. Now cable 1 is a very short cable. So when I start piecing these together, cable 1 is probably just going to be hovering on top like this till I can get that connected. So cable 1's all the way in. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull the excess that I've got through for the lights here. Make sure they're good. Make sure I've got no pinched wires underneath now. And we're going to offer all of this together. Take your time on this bit. That's perfectly in. Oh my God. I can't believe that's worked. So when you're happy with that, you've got that where you want it. Basically, you've got some black screws to put in here and 2 at the front here. We're going to be putting those in now. They're held in with OD05 screws. So I've got the first one in at the back. Let's do the one at the other side. And that one's in perfectly as well. And then we've just got 2, being very gentle with this, at the front here and on the other side. Making sure that the hood support and any wires aren't crushed between the firewalls at each side with the engine housing. And that's 4. So 4 of those are in. Now you can tidy this up whatever way you want with this LED. So I'm going to have a fiddle around, because the LEDs are now going to go into, just move this over a touch, their respective lamps. So you do what makes you happy. I'm going to have mine coming out the front here like this, then round here, and then I'll plug that into the headlights. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I think I'll route that exactly the same way. But then, once again, this is your personal preference. Into the headlamp. And they're both in. Now we've got some silver OP03 screws. And we're going to use 6 of these into the 6 holes that you can see. If I just move that into the middle, just here. I'm going to take a break here while I'm putting 6 in, just to let you know that putting this vehicle together, as you just saw there, has probably been the easiest out of any vehicle I've built. I do like the way that we're actually assembling it upside down. I think that's worked really good. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was actually quite scared about doing this bit. But as you can see, it has worked out really, really well. Now all the rest of it should be easy. It's just adding detail to the vehicle. But there we go. That's those 6 screws in. Now at the trunk end over here, move that down a touch more. We've got 4 screws to put in, and they're OP08 screws. And finally number 4. Excellent. So I've turned it back round, and now I'm going to reattach the tyres. Remembering that there's different tyres going on different places. So this is a front tyre, it's going on here, and there we go, that's the tyres on. We've actually got a complete car at the moment. All we're going to do now is start doing some of the details. So the only way to get to the engine now is to lift the hood, and as you know, we have got the hood support here should I need it. But I'll leave it up like that for now. And we're going to be connecting, this is going to be impossible to show you, going to be connecting the steering to the steering rod. Now I'd already passed mine through, so I know it's going to fit okay, and I've already had this connected once as well. But I'm going to get this attached to the other side of the steering wheel here. And there we go, I've engaged it. That was quite tricky, I have to say. But as you can see, we can now operate the steering wheel. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It is now operating the wheels. Excellent. Now we have got a steering shaft top cover to put in place, looking like that. And that's going to go into this little section here. Push it down. That will stop that trying to rise up, which will give more rigidity to the steering there. Excellent. The other way you can test the steering, just so you can see, is if when I turn it, the steering wheel should turn, as you can see. That's excellent. Bringing this up again, and where we had the right frame for the engine, we've got the left one to put in now, which looks like this. Easiest way to put this in is line up the front one first. And then with your finger on the side there, just coax that into the points on the back, which that fits in. Then push that down. Excellent. And that means we've got the 2 cage bars in place. Now we need pipe 99E, which looks like that. And we're going to be putting one end in device 9, which is probably, again, best look at the pictures, and the other end's going to be going into the firewall. Now I was going to show you each individual pipe going in, but it's impossible to film, especially some of the places they're going into. So I've come up with this other idea. What I've done is I've put all the pipes in, and now I've got my phone, and I'm going to show you exactly where each pipe that I've put in goes. You know what, I've just taken a break from filming so I can film this on my phone so you can see exactly where each cable will go. So the first one we're going to do is 99F. That's this silver cable. It's going into the firewall, round here, underneath the distributor leads, into there, which is the fuel pump. Then we've got the shorter cable that we fitted first that goes into the transmission there, the second hole. That goes up to the vaporizer there. And then the third one goes from this gizmo here, round here, round here, round here, into the firewall. So you should have one from the transmission to the firewall, that one from there to the firewall, 99F going from there around to the pump. Is that everything? I think we've done everything. I think that's all the leads in place there, but in case you just want another look, that is my engine bay up to the end of 99. So this is it, stage 100, the last stage of the Cobra build. So more engine components to put in, and the first one we're going to need is this pipe looking just like this. There we go. And the other end then just plugs into the top, or you can see a little spindle on the back of the radiator. Just like that. Now getting my tweezers out, we've got a pipe which came out before, if you remember that. This is the one that I didn't want to get trapped. That's just going to go into the open side of the oil filter. So I'll put that in here, and there we go. That's in perfect, just like that. Now we need the top radiator small pipe. That looks just like that. Again, look at the pictures for this, but that's going to go it's so hard to film this, but that's going to go out of the expansion tank here. I'm going to put that in. I think that's the best thing, and you look at the pictures to see where I put it, and I will show you a close-up on camera afterwards. Now, I'll try and show you on one of these cameras, but that is the pipe in there. Then we want to take this small pipe, which is labelled 100B. So hopefully you can see that on the top camera, coming out the top of the radiator there into the expansion tank. Now we need the carburetor actuator system that looks like that. This is just going to be, once again, I'll put this in and show you how this looks. There we go, that's in. Now we've got the canisters from stage 98, but what we're going to do is put all of these cables through to the underside of the engine. So I'm passing them through now, and then attaching them to the two holes in the wall on this side here. Just like that. And we want to retrieve these three pipes through this section here. Again, very hard to see, but these are going to go underneath into the two ports that we've got here for two sides. And there we go, that's all three of those in. We're getting there. Now we've got this great big radiator hose to go in. There's a little port for it to fit over onto the engine there, so that's the engine side in. Just got to put the radiator side in. There we go, that's the radiator side in as well. So you've got a peg just at the top here. Let's move this over a touch more. So you've got a peg just at the top of the radiator that's going in there, and then another peg just in there of the engine bay. I'll probably take a picture of that as well. But now that's in. I'm going to turn the car around this way. Probably see it a little bit better there. And now we're going to be attaching the sway bar down just here to the engine. And by the look of it, the wrong way around last time, so not a biggie. I can take that out and turn it round. Then we're going to be putting these little grips onto the sway bar to attach that to the engine. They're going to be held in with OP07 screws. And there we go. That's the sway bar now attached to the vehicle. And then all we've got left to do is to put, let me just move this over a touch, is to put these manifolds and exhausts in to the sides here, and then mount that to the bottom of the vehicle, making sure I've got the right one for each side. So thread these into the four holes here. There we go, that's the first one in all the way, and then that's going to attach here with a OD01 screw. Excellent. And we just do the same on the other side. There we go, and that's that one in as well. Push that all the way in as far as you can get it. So the last thing we've got to do in this stage is put some batteries in and test it. But guess what? I'm not doing it in this stage because we've got a display stand to come. I want to do a reveal and I need to get some batteries. But that is that in place. Both the manifolds on both sides. Let me just turn it back over. But there you go. That is the finished vehicle. I will do a showcase later. I just wanted to give you a look at it. Very happy how that's gone. I haven't tried the electrics yet. I've got some batteries on the way, but that'll all be part of the reveal. And on the stand and everything like that. Looking great, isn't it? And then obviously when we lift up the engine, you can see everything in there as well. But let me just pan out. I'll put the hood up by itself so you can see exactly how that looks. What an amazing build. And there you go, you see what I mean? Impressive, isn't it? I absolutely love it. I need to do a little bit of a polish on it. Got my grubby fingerprints on it. But other than that, can't wait to get some batteries in it, get it powered up and do the reveal video for you, which will hopefully be coming soon. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.